afternoon, South Africa. Welcome to Afternoon Express. I'm Bonnie Mbuli. Today, we're joined by two incredible artists who operate in two very different fields. The first is fashion designer Rina Chunga, who founded Rich Factory, a label that creates clothing using bold African prints. The second artist is Krisjan Rossouw. Now, he's a fine art photographer who takes some of the most beautiful and artistic photographs of the people of Africa. And he's completely self-taught. Never took a photography lesson in his life. But before we get to the art, our first guest today is well known. He's from High Rollers on SABC3. He is actor Justin Strydom. He's in our loft today and we'll be chatting to him soon. Somebody else who's never learnt about cooking is Danilo.
Actually, I've been learning from a very, very young age, okay, guys? I promise. I say, welcome to Afternoon Express. My name is Danilo Acuestas. It's so good to have you on the show with us today. And as you know, Easter is just around the corner. Well, it is right upon us. And during the season of Easter, we know a lot of people can get themselves into trouble on the roads. And today we have an expert in the loft to talk about road safety during this important season in our lives. So if you are one of those people who are going to be on the roads, make sure you stay tuned to keep your health and your safety, and particularly the safety of your family, protected. But if you are not going to be driving along the roads, I hope you're going to be cooking this Easter season. So what are we going to be teaching people to make today?
Going on with the Willie's Madness. So we're making, for starters, we're doing a taco with a difference. Ooh. It's going to be full of luxury because we're adding caviar to it.
Oh, delicious. Wow, that sounds like a pretty extravagant.
It's Easter. It's Easter. It only happens once a year.
Okay. What else are we making?
And then we're doing a real cool spin on a hot cross bun dessert. Ooh. We're making hot cross bun toffee apple trifle.
Oh man, so we keep it all on that sort of Easter theme, which I'm very, very excited about. We're also excited to announce that for today only, Magnum has an Easter gift exclusively for you, the Afternoon Express viewer. Tweet at Afternoon Chat with the words Easter Extravaganza at Magnum SA with hashtag #MakeMyMagnumSA between 4 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. today, and you'll receive a free Magnum when you visit the Pleasure Store in Nelson Mandela Square between the 25th and the 26th of March. So, normal internet rates apply, T's and C's apply. Visit afternoonexpress.co.za to find those. And speaking about all things decadent and desserty, we're making a third dish today.
We are, which is a Death by Chocolate Magnum Extravaganza. And I can't tell anything about that. It's all about a surprise. It's a super wow factor today. It's going to be amazing.
Suspense, suspense. So what you guys need to do is right now go to our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. That's where you can find the recipe and the shopping list for what we're making on the show today. It's decadence. It's all about Easter, and it's right here on Afternoon Express. Bonnie's on standby on the couch with Justin Strydom.
He's a well-known face on film and television and has been playing the lead role in local and international productions throughout his career. Now, as Paul King, he's one of the main players in the highly acclaimed drama series High Rollers on SABC3. Welcome, Justin Strydom.
Thank you so much.
Lovely to have you with us in the loft.
Great being here.
Yeah. So I read the description of your character and he just sounds like a man's man. Lots of testosterone, he's reactive, he's good with his hands, he's a practical man.
A little bit fiery.
Tell me about your character, yeah.
I think one of the biggest things that have struck me, or that has struck me in this season, is the fact that Paul is a kind of man's man, but he's all misdirected. He's almost naive in what is quite a complex world. So you've got this guy coming from prison where there are a very specific set of rules that guides the way we kind of survive. And now he walks into this world where things are so much more complex. And I think his brother, David, is just far more adept at playing the kind of political game that goes into running a business and making a business successful. And Paul is not very good at that. He's actually not good at a lot of things. Yeah. So he's on the staunch learning curve. You know, dating a woman seems so simple. It seemed so simple when he was 19, 20 years old. And now to try and do it when he's in his 40s and he's been in prison, and there hasn't been too much interaction, he's actually pretty lousy. So there's a new layer to this
I think every man feels like that.
You're right, actually.
Unless they marry her when she's really...
No, I've been married for a long time and it's pretty much the same.
It's pretty much the same, okay.
Yeah. So I think one of the big discoveries for me with Paul is the actual level of naivety in the character and the fact that he frustrates me sometimes. You kind of like, oh, buddy, why are you doing that? Yeah. Why are you doing that? And so it's a very interesting journey, in particular in the second season now.
Wow. Now, when you're on a medium like yours, you have to sustain a character for quite a while. How do you build a sustainable character?
Well, look, I think there's a whole team behind that. You know, you've got a producing and a writing team that sit there and they make sure that there's continuity in the character. I think by the time it gets to us, it's really important that we play as closely to the scripts as possible, because it can get very confusing. We also shoot massively out of continuity.
And also the storylines intersect.
Absolutely.
Right,
So
yeah.
you know, there are at least three storylines that are running in each episode. So it can get quite complicated if you try to get too creative with something like that.
Yeah.
Follow the script and you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine.
You've played complex males for quite a while now, and sometimes bad guys. Do you feel like sometimes you get typecast towards those types of characters more?
Well, you know, I think it's a privilege if you can get typecast. You know, roles are pretty hard to come by. So when people recognize that you do something really well, I think it's a compliment. I think it really is a compliment. And the fact is, I've very seldomly played a part where I've gone, this character is just like this character. In fact, I've never played. The characters are remarkably different. I mean, we all know bullies, but no two bullies are the same. And that's what bad guys really are. They're big bullies, you know, mostly, and they're usually quite smart. I actually enjoy playing bad guys a huge amount. They're a lot of fun. They've always got the best lines. They've always doing the best thing. When you play a straight character, and Paul's what I would call a very straight character. He's got a very specific moral value system. I always find them incredibly tricky. They are very difficult to sustain. It's kind of like weird. You watch a guy like Tom Cruise and everybody goes, why has he never, you know, why has he never won the Academy Award? And you go, well, he plays the good guy the whole time. If he played the bad guy, he'd be just fine. And it's funny.
And you stand out more.
Absolutely. You also get to flex your muscles. You get to be a little awkward, a little bit unusual. You get to go against the grain a little bit. It's really fun to play characters like that.
That's really an interesting way of looking at it. So you've starred in films like Sibahle, District 9, and Winnie by Daryl Root.
Yes.
What were those experiences like for you, and what stood out for you? What's memorable for you?
You know what? Winnie for me was an incredible experience because it was such a South African story.
Yes.
And we had these international actors playing, you know, characters that are local. And I remember when I first started, there's all this controversy around it.
There was a lot of controversy.
Why didn't we get a local actor to play? And you know what? The reality was they needed a lot of money to make that film. I mean, I heard the budgets that were being bandied about was over or close to 100 million rand.
They needed it to be greenlit.
And they needed American money in that. So we had to get those stars in that could get that kind of return. And I must say, working with them was quite incredible. Not because they're better than us. It's just because they're incredibly confident. They go out and they do this job, and it's funny, you know, when you grow up,
that is so accurate.
You hear how brilliant these American actors are. They're just so much better than us. In fact, I've had local producers going to me, what is it with South African actors? Why aren't they as good as American actors? And it's a funny thing, we hear that a lot. And while I was on set with these people, and it was quite incredible because I was very fortunate to be taken in by one of them in particular. And they're just like us. They deal with the same insecurities that we deal with.
Right.
They rely heavily on the text. They rely heavily on the creativity of the crew, that entire crew, to be focused and to have a wonderful, wonderful leader to take them to that place where they can play. They can just let go, you know, like picking up a piece of cake where we're going like, how many slices of cake do we have? We've got one, okay, good luck. Where them, it's kind of like they know there's another 10 slices, and then they pick it up and they throw it all over in it. And you shoot, you have this luxury to shoot an entire day on a scene. In fact, sometimes 2 days on a scene.
You raise a really interesting point. Why is it that you think South African actors are not that confident? Do you think that we are coming from an industry that hasn't been able to build a star system, perhaps?
Well, there was a star system.
Yeah,
there definitely was a star system, but I think it really favoured the Afrikaans stars, and I think we need to grow beyond that. I also think it's really complex to be competing with American content. To be competing, I mean, literally, those films are on budgets that are 10, 20 times, 20 times at least the size of our budgets. But I do think what's happening is we're finding creative ways to deal with that problem. And I think in any country without a strong local film component lacks a sense of self-identity. We don't know who we are, and we need our creatives, our storytellers to help us come to terms with who we really are and to tell those stories. So I think if I look at working on those projects, it was remarkable working with those actors, but I'm even more excited about what we're going to do in the future.
What we're going to do, yeah.
Absolutely. And you know, I have the privilege of working with a lot of young actors. I get involved quite a lot with some of the local film schools.
Yeah.
Wow. We compete. In AFTA, we've had 3 students that have gone to the Academy Awards and kicked butt.
Wow.
We don't need to stand back. And our actors are in every one of those films.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's
Justin.
a huge pleasure.
Yeah, and we look forward to seeing all the amazing things you're going to do.
Oh, yes. There'll be some. There'll be some.
If you want to catch Justin in action as Paul King, then make sure you catch High Rollers every Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday at 7:30 on SABC3. We'll be right back after this.
Experience the world in a way less limited. Apply today at dinersclub.co.za.
A warm welcome back to Afternoon Express. So we're in the kitchen right now with myself and Clem, and we're trying to get you ready for this Easter weekend. And we're starting with something so delicious, so simple, and so different for your starters for this weekend. And we're starting with a taco. And it's not just any kind of taco.
It's a luxury taco.
It's a luxury taco because we're loco.
I was going to say it's luxury because we're using caviar.
Okay. Oh, that too. Let's go.
I got you some amazing Easter eggs.
Oh, thanks. I also got you one. Hey, for Easter.
Regifting.
Yes.
My goodness.
My mom taught me well, Mom. I love you.
Let's start. So we're using the Willie's Carb Clever cauliflower wraps. Now, it's not just because everybody's on this carb clever emotion at the moment. They actually taste pretty great.
Delicious.
I love charring them. And it brings out even more that cauliflower flavor.
Yeah, because isn't a taco meant to be crispy and like all of that goodness? You're kind of taking a nice spin on that.
We're doing it like a soft style taco.
I like it.
So I'm going to give you half.
Cool.
And I'm going to give you some cream cheese. I'm going to give you a spoon. So just give it a light spray just on one.
Okay, cool.
Going to have to soften it slightly. You can use your finger to get it down there.
How do you soften cream cheese? Oh, I see.
You're doing a good job. So I've got some shredded carrot. You can go, be as liberal as you like.
I like
because
cream cheese.
You like cream cheese.
Yeah.
Just add a little bit of your carrot.
Okay.
When you're done, you can add some carrot. Okay,
Thank you.
I'll move along.
Oh my gosh, you need to move along with yours because this is going to take me a while.
And I've got some shredded purple cabbage.
There we go.
So this Easter is all about, literally, it's about the convenience. No one needs to be slaving away in the kitchen, having our guests over. This is how you need to be doing it. Just entertaining and just get the ingredients and put it all together.
So you're making this sound so simple. So literally just assembling. It's not much more than just assembling is what we're doing today.
I mean, if the product's been made for you and it's this good already, why?
Exactly.
So I'm going to get another.
So what must I do now? Just roll this up.
Have you got some trout in there?
Oh no, that would help, hey? How much do I use?
As much as you like. It's all about your taste. So I'm doing a little chefy thing here, making a little quenelle out of cream cheese, but you don't have to do that. Add another little blob of cream cheese to the top.
Yummy.
How's it going? I mean, how easy is that?
So far, so good. It's actually, you're making it sound easy because you've probably practiced before the show. You just left me in the dark, yeah?
I'm just a Willie's expert, you know?
Okay, there we go.
Some dill, just to be a little bit fancy.
Oh, wait, first
cream
cheese, yeah. Okay.
And then garnish with some basil as well. And now comes the fancy bit, the caviar. Now, totally optional. You don't need to, but it's only Easter once a year.
And it's only decadent if it is got a bit of caviar thrown in there, so...
And look at that, just to finish it off.
Oh, how delicious is that?
Look at
all
yours.
those flavors
Oh,
and colors are amazing.
Are you going to be making this one?
No, you can put the caviar on there because I feel like I'm not cool enough to do it. You must be like the cool chef.
I didn't want to say so.
Yummy. So obviously people can make their own sort of variation on something quite similar. So you guys can see how decadent it looks right here on Afternoon Express. And if you want to make something similar or make this exact same dish, all you have to do is go to our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. There you can download the recipe and the shopping list to make this dish for your guests this weekend. It's a nice starter, something nice to snack on. It is fun to make, obviously with the whole family, and the flavors are so, so delicious. Bonnie's on standby while my mouth drools.
Designs have... You look absolutely lovely today.
Thank you, so do you.
So you can hold on to the mic while you answer.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's my mic. You're fine. Your mic's fine. Okay, all mics are working. So how are you, Ria? Lovely to have you on the show.
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be in the loft.
Yeah. So you've dressed a lot of local celebs lately, and your name is becoming quite on the tip of everybody's tongue. What do you think makes your design so unique?
I think it's that I'm having so much fun with African print. I think everyone's moving towards embracing their heritage, and I'm all about having fun with it, so or everyone's coming to me right now.
What a lot of people don't know about you is that you're quite shy. And in an industry that requires so much networking, so much collaboration, how do you reconcile being shy with all the things that the industry requires you to do as a personality?
With what I basically had to do today, go sit by myself in a corner. I used to do promos, so when I did promos, I learned to fake it, fake the confidence, fake being super chatty, and then you can go back into that shell afterwards. You do what you have to do, because you're definitely right. The industry needs you to network, to chat to people, to have a laugh that brings in the business, that brings in the clients.
Yeah, and you find that after you've engaged at that level socially, you also need to just regroup again and find your energy again.
I definitely do, because sometimes you sort of absorb other people's energies.
Yes.
Yeah, so that for me is a bit of a culture shock. So then I just go have my quiet time, and then I'm good to go for the next time that I need to be extra sociable.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, my mic's working now, so I'm going to put my handheld down. Well, one of the things that you're quite vocal about on social media or on your Instagram is that you have an autoimmune disease or a condition that sometimes affects your skin from time to time. How do you deal with that, and how did you come to a place where you wanted to be open about it?
I think when you are challenged with anything, you can either choose to accept it or you can choose to hide it. And the thing about hiding it is that it becomes a weapon for other people. Or so why not show it? Because then people will look at me and question what it is. But when I've already told them, there's no need to ask me. They already know what it's about. They've already seen it. So I just own it and it is what it is, you know?
That's quite courageous of you. Well done.
Thank you.
I mean, it also, you say that there was a time in your life where it caused you a depression, to fall into a depression. I've had to fight through depression, and I know how that place can be such a dark and disempowering space. Do you find that in the end it was a blessing for you having to fight through that?
I think it was a blessing. I heard something recently. It was a lady with cancer, and she was saying something about, isn't it amazing that the things that were brought to you that were supposed to break you down actually build you up? And that's what it's done. I think 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been this confident person if it wasn't for that. So it forced me to look past just my physical and all of that and really build up my strength from the inside.
I can definitely relate to it. At what age did you know that you wanted to be a fashion designer and these are the kind of clothes that you wanted to make?
I've always been into fashion. My mom says they would have to lock the room and put the key away because I'd constantly be changing all day. I'd be drawing all the time. So there hasn't really been anything else for me. I'm lucky that I've always known my path.
Of the names that you've worked with locally, who have you enjoyed working with most, or which outfit did you enjoy making?
So there's two. One that I'm going to show later today. It was a big hit at the beginning of the year. Nonzamo Mabata wore it to the Queen's Plate. That was really exciting. It started off the year on a
high note.
Yeah, on a high note. And then Nomuzi, because Nomuzi was so daring with the prints, she allowed me to do things no one else has done with prints.
Why do you think it's taken Africans so long to embrace their prints? And maybe South Africans, because the rest of Africa has always embraced,
I have no clue. I think it's going along with the black movement where people are loving their skin more, the hair movement. I think it's just that time where everyone wants to embrace who they are. We're tired of getting inspired by other people when we have so much talent and things to get inspired from here.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, we're going to see some of the designs that you brought with you, so you're not going away. Sit tight. After the break, we're back on the couch with Rina, and we'll be taking a look at some of her latest designs. And after the fashion, we're continuing our Easter feast in the kitchen with hot cross bun, apple, and toffee trifles. Don't go away.
Skip loves your clothes as much as you do.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC 3. Rina's record label, I nearly said, design label is called Rich Factory, and she's brought some of her designs to show us. Cool. Let's see what you have for us.
I'm ready to see.
Can we see the first model come out? Wow, that's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Do you have names for your designs?
I don't, but I design for every woman. So this look would be your day-to-day look. You can see she's wearing it with flats. If you just want to sort of go to college or just, you know, your Saturday out on the town.
Yeah, yeah.
This is that look.
Is it a high-waist pant?
It's a high-waist pant, and it's a cigarette pant.
Yes.
But it's tailored very loosely, sort of a man's pants. If you can imagine, you store your boyfriend's look and off you go. That's the look.
Wow, I hope it comes in my size because I think I'm going to steal it off the model.
Definitely.
Who do we have next?
So this is the Nomzamo look.
I saw Nomzamo wearing this at the Queen's Play.
She was all over with this. It was on all the papers. So this is just a really fun twist on African print. We didn't put any lacing in the skirt so that it can just be sheer and a little sassy.
Yeah, it's very sassy, very sexy as well.
And a great play on the peplum just to have some flirty, flowy.
Yeah. Do you find you import a lot of your prints?
I do. I get my prints in from Zambia so that I don't sort of have the same prints as all the other African print designers in South Africa.
I love this. I'm a jumpsuit fan. I wear jumpsuits all the time.
Our top seller. I think people like it because it's a print, but it's not the most obvious African print. And it goes with the military trend that's in right now. You can dress it up with heels, you can dress it down.
With sneakers.
That's what I love about this piece. And some girls get theirs extra large and some get them like fitted, so it's more
fitted
sexy.
and tailored. It's very sexy.
This is our play on the party girl. So, you know when you go to the club and you need to wear a tight-fitting, sexy dress, you can't really find
No,
that.
I don't. How does that work? I'm teasing.
So yeah, this is the version that you would if you were sort of an African queen-styled girl. You can be super sexy in print as well.
And I just love that that blazer can double up with jeans and a vest as another outfit.
Definitely, and that's a boyfriend blazer. It's just that masculine cut. A lot of our stuff, as much as they're sexy, we like to have a masculine cut to it.
Yeah.
So that it can go from day to night, from sassy to a little more conservative.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Your designs are absolutely gorgeous.
glad
I
you
think I
like
want
them.
all of them. Let's head to the kitchen and check out our Easter-inspired trifles.
Ooh, it sounds so yummy. I'm looking forward to making our second dish for today because we obviously Easter's around the corner and I want to be able to wow my guests. We've started with a sort of taco that we've done as the beginning starter dish, and now moving on to the second one, which is a delectable dessert.
And it's going to be a crazy one. Hot cross buns. Who doesn't love them? I
Yes,
mean,
I've seen loads of people
actually,
posting recipes about them. So you all said better just like blow us away. And from what I can see on the table, it is going.
It's going to be awesome.
Okay.
This is a good one for people that actually, I know I said now who doesn't like hot cross buns, but I actually do know a few people that don't really like it that much.
Well, we don't know them.
But we'll acknowledge them for like a second and we'll tell them this is a good one to get started on.
Okay. We like you. Come back. We like you. I promise you can stay.
So what I've got some apples that I've chopped up, put them in the pan with a little bit of butter.
How do you like them apples?
Chopped.
And in the pan. Okay.
Yeah. So we can add some brown sugar and a little bit of vanilla extract.
Yummy, yummy.
And we're going to let that caramelize and do its thing and get it cooked down. Once it's all incorporated,
So that's almost going to make like a really thick syrup. Is this what it turns out to look like?
Exactly. Why are you stealing my thunder?
No, I'm just thinking ahead of the curve. Yeah, you see, this is kind of what it's going to look like afterwards. It's got a nice like syrup at the bottom there, which almost looks like a caramel, and then that like really nice soft now apple is there.
Yes.
Cool.
And if you want to make a really cool ice cream topping, you can add it just like that or blend it. It becomes this really spicy apple puree.
Ooh,
amazing
delish.
on ice cream, especially for winter when you want to have something cold but still a little spicy.
Like I need a pen and paper just to write down all these tips and tricks. Okay.
But that's what we got the website.
Exactly. True.
There we go. So you can start layering your cup. So you can just add the halves of the hot cross buns. I'm going to tear mine.
Oh, you see, you see what he always does, everybody, is he tends to think that it's a great idea to first tell me what to do and then do it the right way and then make me look like the idiot for doing it the wrong way.
No way. This is the original recipe, the way that you're doing it.
Okay, good.
I'm just like showing you versatility.
Just checking. Okay, what's next?
So do you mind if I add it?
No, go for it.
Okay,
Please,
so
I would hate to do it wrong.
that apple that we've stewed
yummy.
down with the brown sugar and the butter, so that delicious butteriness is going to soak into the hot cross bun.
Yes, and that
It's
nice
gonna
caramel
become-
is going to like make the bun at least a little bit more what do you call it? Malleable, like soft and mushy.
Juicy and delicious.
Juicy, delicious.
With
Good
your
words.
technical words.
This is why he's the chef.
What I've got is some cream, and I've added some mascarpone cheese to it.
Okay.
You can do just plain cream with sugar. The mascarpone adds a slight sourness, which we are loving at the moment, the
Yummy.
combination.
Okay, so you whip that up, hey?
Whip it up all together.
Oh, yummy. This is so decadent and delicious.
You want to give it another layer?
Oh, yeah, please.
There you go, hot cross bun, you go.
Oh, another layer of hot cross bun. Oh, I thought you wanted another layer of that. I want more of that.
You got so lost in that dish right there.
Go on, close it up nicely.
And you just keep on going. You can close it up, but why not? Why just go again?
Do more, do more. It's like a trifle. Obviously, you can't have a one full. It must be a trifle. You see? Put one I promise you this kitchen has more awkward moments in it than it does recipes. I'm sure there should be a website for awkward moments on Afternoon Express
we've
Kitchen.
got a blooper reel.
Yeah.
You don't know about that?
No.
We'll be revealing it at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's basically going to be my career highlights, is the blooper reel, basically.
So what you do is you make this the night before, right?
Yes.
Allow the hot cross bun to suck up all those juices, become amazing, become delicious. We've only made 2, so that's just one for you and me.
Okay, cool. We'll make Bonnie's one a little bit later in the ad break. Why don't we do that? Because after the break, we're taking a look at the beautiful African fine art photography by Krisjan Rossouw. And in the kitchen, we're going to be finishing off our grand finale to the Easter Extravaganza. This is one you don't want to miss.
Salati Plantation Select adds subtle sweetness to toffees, caramel, bran muffins, or sprinkled into a spicy curry. Salati, always good, always sweet.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're so honoured today to have such amazing guests who are all creative in their own way. Krisjan Rossouw is a self-taught photographer from Cape Town and with no formal art or photographic training, yet his breathtaking fine art pieces have won the interest of local and international art collectors alike. What makes his work so unique? We're joined by Krisjan Rossouw to learn more. So Krisjan, it's so cool to have you because your journey into this career has been incredible. I think a lot of people can learn from your process. But, you know, you didn't start out as a photographer or study fine art in any way.
Not at all.
What was your journey?
Jeez, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey. Basically, starting with national service, I still went to the army.
Sure.
And after...
Giving away your age, man. You're giving away your age.
After getting past all of that, trying all different jobs, finally found myself as a model chaperone at a model agency, and that way got into the model side of things. Worked myself up to a model booker. From there, I started working backstage as a skivvy on fashion weeks, where I befriended all the models. And finally, a couple of years ago, my mother decided to buy me a camera, which gave me my creative outlet. And
show me what you actually do behind the scenes there. Let's take some photos of it.
Yeah, do something with your life.
Yeah. So he's going to bring in the bills. And then, obviously, that moved into a garage and things started to build from there. I mean, how did that happen?
Wasn't a garage. It was actually the house I bought in Sea Point, had an underground bunker. The house was built for the lieutenants in the Second World War, and it was a derelict, stinky, damp dungeon. And that's where I started creating this magic. Luckily, my friends trusted me enough to come down with me and strip nude and get Vaselined up. And
because your artwork does celebrate the female form, and also it's very African in its essence. I mean, we can see some of the photos on screen right now. Let's talk about that style and why the female form? Why does it fascinate you so much?
Well, they're all my friends, and I all see beauty in all of them, and I really needed to put my head into a certain direction and create something that I think is beautiful. And because they lend themselves to me, I mean, they form a big part of who I am today. Without them, I'm not here. So thank goodness for me for having such beautiful friends.
Yeah, exactly. I want friends like yours. What exactly is fine art photography? Because a lot of photographers go to capture essences of something else. That someone else has created something like an artwork, and someone will go out and photograph that. But fine art photography is slightly different to that because you're going to create the scene yourself. I mean, what is the difference?
I actually don't know what the difference is. I started shooting beautiful images, and after I had my first exhibition, that is what I was labeled as fine art photographer. I never had training. I never had art in school. This was just images that I shot, and it made sense to me, and it was beautiful to me. And only after a couple of years, I mean, the first exhibition took me 3 years to shoot. It took me a lot of courage to actually put it to life, to actually print it, to frame it. And after a couple of art critics gave me good reviews and say, okay, you're doing the right thing, carry on, I realized this is something that I can carry on with. And I've only had good reviews, I must say. I've been received well.
Clearly have. I mean, all international news and being in the press of late, that must have been very exciting.
It was. I mean, CNN interviewed me the other day. I mean, I've got Twitter. I mean, I'm not on Twitter, but apparently the Twitter feeds are going crazy. Maybe it's time to join
maybe
Twitter.
it is before your account gets taken.
Anyway, so yeah, it's all good. I'm very happy for the response, and I'm just happy that I can show Africa in a beautiful light for a change, because there's so much negativity going on. Absolutely. It's time that someone shows the world that there are beauty and positiveness in this country.
Yeah, you mentioned your first exhibition that you put out, which took a lot of courage, took you 3 years to get out, and there've only been really 2 exhibitions since then that you've put together. One was not necessarily an exhibition, but only 2 have come since. So what is next for you in terms of your exhibitions? What can we expect from Krisjan?
Well, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to just do what I not do well and just reinvent myself and try and be better. And what I think is very important is not to copy, just try and redo what's in this head of mine and try and put it on paper. So, yeah, I really want to create something that is coming from my head purely. I mean, I lie at night and my head goes
crazy,
boss. And then I need to write it down and say, okay, let's focus on that. So, yeah, not quite sure what's the next one going to be, but it's going to be a similar feel. Same goals, beauty, Africa.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
You've mentioned, I've seen a couple of your photos on Instagram. I know you're not in your Instagram account at the moment, you locked yourself out, but a couple of the photos on your Instagram account have been really awesome, but it also features some male imagery. What is the reason behind that if you are so female and African focused?
Well, to give the female crowd a little bit of happiness and pleasure. I mean, it's not just the guys that needs to have nice images to look at. So, yeah, I want to make everyone happy.
Awesome. Krisjan, your journey is incredibly inspiring. I think a lot of people can learn from it because it is about that organic nature within you. I mean, you worked your way up the ranks and you really were passionate about it and went out on a limb and look what came of it.
Exactly. And for the new artist that needs to, that wants to express themselves, I just can say, don't stop expressing yourself. It might be a long journey to get there, but just believe in yourself and just don't care what other people say. Just do what you want to do.
Exactly. Make sure you guys go follow him out on all the social media sites. He's got incredible work and it's really exciting to have him on the show with us here today. Someone else who's creating art is Clem and Bon in the kitchen.
With the whole of Jersey flocking to the Magnum Pleasure store to make their own Magnums, the rest of us are all a little envious. So we're giving you the opportunity to join me in the fun from the comfort of your own home. Okay, so we're about to make this Magnum spectacular, right?
But first, I'm going to need you to get me 2 Death by Chocolate Magnums, please.
Okay, coming right up. But if there's a key...
It's mine.
In any of these, it's mine and it's settled. Okay, I will wrestle you. Remember, next time you go buy yourself a Magnum, find one of 500,000 keys engraved on your ice cream stick and stand a chance to win designer prizes from the M Collection by Gert Johan Katsier and or a shopping spree worth 100,000 Rand at Sandton City. So all you have to do is SMS the unique code found on the key to 37690. SMSs cost R1.50. T's and C's apply. Visit pleasure.mymagnum.co.za for the full information. Competition closes on the 31st of May 2016. So what do we have?
I think you should do the honors.
I'll do the honors. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay. Ta-da. No key.
So Pranya, if you get it.
Key. No key.
No key.
Never mind. We can still go shopping.
We can. And we can still eat them. Okay, so we're joined by Rina, Magnum brand manager, and you're going to make a spectacular Magnum for us, right?
So actually, Clem, this recipe has been inspired by Clem. I don't want to take all the credit for it. He's actually brought me here because, I mean, not to blow my own horn or anything, but I think after opening 3 Magnum stores and after tasting 200 toppings and over 1,000 Make My Magnums, he's asked me to be the judge of whether or not his Make My Magnum is going to be one that's going to go on stores or anywhere else.
No pressure.
Well, I think you make the perfect judge.
I think so,
Have you tasted all 200 toppings?
I have, absolutely.
Oh my goodness, which one's your favorite?
Candy-coated rose petals and chocolate crunch.
Not for long.
Absolutely
Not
amazing.
for long.
Well, let's see.
Let's get into it.
Okay, are you leaving me with this Magnum? Because I'm going to eat it.
You just stay right here. So I'm actually going to use that. So you want to put that in your beautiful plate that we've got over here. Styled perfectly for Magnum.
Oh, wow.
And if you can pass me the chocolate. What I've got for you so long is I've got these chocolate meringues that I've made already, and the recipe's on the website. You can check it out there.
Okay.
And I've also got some gold meringue as well. So I'm going to use this first and pass it to you. So what you can do is you can start dipping your meringues. I'll give you some spoons in we dip the chocolate ones in the gold meringues and then sticking them to your Magnum. Go crazy. So you can even make like full circles, like little tiny little. Let me do one.
So we're each making our own one.
But you're gonna leave it on the plate. We're gonna decorate our Magnum.
No, sure.
There we go. So what I would do first of all is make little ones like that.
And then stick it on the Magnum.
Yes, and also do full ones. You know, to get a little bit of height. Yeah. Half circles, full circles. Why not go crazy?
Okay.
So you can leave that there and you start decorating.
But they need to stick on the Magnum, am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm going to start making our chocolate bark, but it's no ordinary chocolate bark. It's gold beaded popping candy chocolate bark.
Gold beaded popping candy.
I've really got to stop making recipes with like tongue twister names.
That is so exciting.
Clem, I think you cheated a bit though, because Death by Chocolate's actually my favorite Magnum. So somebody definitely tipped you off. So I'm not too happy about this.
I did my research, I have to be honest with you. I mean, who else to get in the kitchen to judge and to taste a dish? A brand manager.
Of Magnum.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Gonna do a little bit of tasting here.
You go for it, go for it.
What's the most amazing flavor combination you've ever tasted?
I think it's a combination of salt and chili flakes.
Oh, yeah.
With the chocolate, it's absolutely amazing. It's actually a taste profile that nobody really goes for.
Right.
But once you taste it, I think you're just going to love it. I think, Clem, that's something that you need to do in your next recipe.
Definitely, we'll work in a nice floral.
I think that's the one that won at the recent at the launch of the Make Your Own Magnum store in Joburg. Yes, that flavor.
Yes, when Jeannie D made it with Mups, exactly.
Yes, yes.
So what I've got now is, but you see, I'm playing on the wow factor today. So we've got our chocolate that's melted. We're playing it down on some baking paper, and I've coated the popping candy in some edible gold dust. So we end up with gold popping candy.
That's so Magnum. It's all the glitz and all the glamour.
All the glamour.
I think you've already won me over.
There we go.
I don't think we need this competition anymore, actually.
So what we're going to do is just sprinkle that over your melted chocolate, pop it in the fridge, let it sit. And what you're going to end up with is a sheet of chocolate, like you've got it there. So you can totally go crazy. Now you can start breaking that off and start adding it to your Magnum. Because you can't have enough chocolate.
As soon as I finish eating this.
It tastes amazing.
It is amazing.
It's amazing.
I'm looking forward to the end result. So let me come across
we can
here.
Just decorate how
Bonnie,
we
can I
want.
break off a piece for you?
Of course you can.
I'm going to give you a massive piece.
Oh, sorry, that's your spoon.
You want to go for it?
Thank you.
Lovely. We'll
I like the designs here.
Yeah, mine
Did you take away our dripping chocolate?
No, I'm bringing that back. I'll bring that back.
Redecorating it, just fixing it, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist.
You see, there was some strategy in this.
How's yours going there, Bonnie?
It's going
Who's
a little
winning
bit
so
cool.
far?
Clem,
are you going to be the judge of that one?
Even.
Okay, cool.
That's looking great. Both of you are doing such a great job.
Well, if you're loving what we're doing, pop over to our website, afternoonexpress.co.za for the full recipe and shopping list. But the main part of your recipe is a Magnum, of course. After the break, we're chatting road safety for the coming Easter weekend. This is important information, so stay right there, don't go away. Okay, wow.
Express yourself. Unlock the M Collection.
Five Roses blends only the top 2 leaves of the finest Ceylon teas. Because nobody makes better tea than you and Five Roses.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express on SABC3. According to a recent study conducted by the WHO, World Health Organization, South Africa has the highest number of drunk driving-related deaths in the world. With Easter weekend upon us and more traffic on the roads, the risk of danger on the road increases. With us to share some advice from the National Institute for Crime Prevention and the reintegration of offenders is Soraya Solomon. Welcome to the Loft, Soraya.
Thank you.
Why is there such an increase of drunk driving and drunk-caused deaths on the roads over the Easter period?
Well, it's not only, you see it over the Easter period, but we have drunk driving throughout the year. We have deaths. And if you look at South Africa, I think it's very sad. We have very high levels of crime and violence. And in that context, we have people that have a total disregard for the rule of law.
Right.
And the rule is you never drink and drive. That should be the rule.
What positions South Africa as a country with the highest amount of those types of deaths and accidents?
Yeah, but I think you need to see it in the context of crime and violence in this country. You know, can we ask the question, is there moral degeneration happening? Is people having such a total disregard for human life, you know? So in that context, for me, you place South Africa. People don't think twice about getting into the car driving, not thinking you can kill somebody else, you can kill yourself, you can kill a family member on the road, you know? So that's the sad reality we're sitting with in South Africa. How are we going to get South Africans to start obeying the law?
How do people know when they're over the limit? Because some people feel like, I'm over the limit, but I'm not drunk. I can still drive. How do you tell?
That's a very important question, because if you tell people that's 0.05 milligrams, you're over the limit, it doesn't mean anything to anybody. So what I would like to tell listeners in very simple terms, now people come to us and say, well, I've only had a glass of wine, I wasn't drunk, and I drove. But if you have a glass of wine that's 250 mils, you're way over the limit. You're way over the limit.
That's just a cup.
It's a big glass of wine, okay?
Wow.
You allowed 90 mils of wine. So how do you know that? You know, so for example, your very strong whiskies and brandies, one shot, you're over the limit.
Wow.
People are not aware of this. Some people are aware and still choose to go behind that wheel, you know. So I think South Africans need to take care. You need to worry about, I am going to be responsible for somebody else's life and my life.
And what is the punishment if you're found driving drunk?
Yeah, well, you know, it's different. It depends on the court, it depends on the magistrates. Now, NICRO has got the program where you can get adult diversion dependent on the court. We cannot make that decision. We can do an assessment when you're caught for drunken driving. We can make a recommendation to the court. The court will decide whether you get adult diversion. Adult diversion means you don't get a criminal record. You're part of our program, and I can explain the program just now if we have time. And then you can get a non-custodial sentencing option. That means you'll have a criminal record. Now, we don't only deal with drunken driving. You're dealing with reckless driving, with negligent driving, drunken driving.
And that's a crime.
Yeah, it's a crime. That's the bottom line. And most South Africans do not think it's a crime. You know?
So NICRO has come up with a behavior modification program, which is used as an alternative to the punishment.
Yeah, well,
what
look,
does the program
I think NICRO's stance is that putting people in prison is not going to change their behavior.
Right.
And we're saying our programs are aimed at changing behavior. So it's a psycho-educational program.
Yes, changing the way people think.
Exactly. You know, what do you think? Do you not care for the law? You just go behind the wheel. Now, most people also don't think. You think that you're drunk and you're driving, but what about that angry driver, the road rage? So it's all related. You know, so this program really aims at education, telling them what the law says, the consequences, and then the psychological, because you've got to think about your thoughts. Now, if you're driving on the road and somebody cuts in front of you, do you want to go and cut in front of them, or are you tolerant?
Wow.
You've got to practice
and
this
that
behavior.
Can be taught.
That must be taught. People must be aware of that.
Right.
You know.
And what are some of the ways people can avoid driving drunk, apart from just not getting drunk?
Can I say my message to people, and it's NICRO's message? If you drink, just don't get behind that wheel.
Don't get
really,
behind the wheel.
Because how are you going to calculate that you've drank 90 mils of wine, you know? How are you going to do that? Or you've had 2 cans or 3 cans of beer and you're over the limit. So I would say if we truly want to reduce the levels in South Africa, then take responsibility, be a responsible citizen, don't drive when you've had alcohol. That's the bottom line.
Wow. Thank you so much for that informative piece. Well, let's go and get drunk on chocolate at the table.
Yeah, one thing that frustrates me the most about people is says, well, I'm fine to drive, and you never remember the other people on the road. It's absolutely terrible. So people are going to look after themselves this Easter season. If you're staying in this evening, then make sure you catch Top Billing at 7:30 on SABC 3. Tonight, it's all about our very own Jeannie D as they take a look back on the highlights of her long and successful journey on Top Billing, from overcoming her fears by wing walking on a biplane. Yes, that's right. Jeannie walked on the wings of a flying airplane. It should be absolutely epic. To some of her incredible interviews with A-list celebrities such as pop sensation Taylor Swift and South Africa's very own Die Antwoord. She bride with them. She definitely has seen it all, and we're going to be experiencing all of that tonight, 7:30 on SABC 3. All the action, all the memories, and more from our very own Jeannie D. This food looks amazing, guys. I don't even know where to begin.
So much chocolate.
What do I start with? Dessert? I start with...
first.
Because we've made starters, so I feel like I should start with starters, but...
So what's your verdict? Who wins?
So I'm definitely going to have to taste this, Clem. So I'm going to take a little bite and see if this is something we need to bring into the Magnum store.
That is sneaky. She's got the best job in the world.
We need to talk. We need to bring this into the Magnum store, definitely.
But, is there a winner?
I'm gonna have to go with Clem.
Okay, congratulations, Clem. South Africa, don't forget, we are going to be off air because of the cricket and we'll be back on your screens after next week. Looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday. So from us here on Afternoon Express, good night, happy eating, and happy Easter.
Yes, happy Easter.
Afternoon Express will be off air on Friday the 25th and Monday the 28th of March due to the cricket, but we will be back on your screens on Tuesday the 29th with 2 exclusive performances from the king of African rap himself, Kwesta, along with 3-time 2016 Metro FM award winner, Fifi Cooper.
Another feel-good production.
Hi YouTubers, thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to us. Join the Afternoon Express family by subscribing to our channel right here. And we'll keep you up to date with all our recipes and of course our fabulous episodes. Also, feel free to leave a comment and share this video. We do love it when you express yourself.